So now it is a very, very great pleasure and an honor to introduce our next City Council President, Ben Stuckart.
Good evening. Thank you very much for coming this evening. I'd like to thank Tom, Frida, and Jack for the kind words. If we could stop with what just they said, we'd be fine. I'd be less nervous. I also want to thank Don Hamilton for being here. I hope I smile more tonight than I did on the video we recorded 5 weeks ago. And I'd like to thank Don Goodwin and Todd for playing, because music is always a part of every great event, and I've never been to one where music wasn't a part of it. So thank you, Don, and thank you to everybody. I think it's appropriate at the start of a long and arduous campaign to tell you a little bit about myself and to tell you a little bit about what I think is the one overriding issue facing our city today. First, my background. My parents, Larry, Dad. Everybody clap for Dad. And my mother, who is a principal over in Bellingham but commutes every weekend, and she hasn't missed a weekend in 5 years. They came to Spokane in 1967, and they've lived here ever since, graduating from Gonzaga University. They came here for Gonzaga. I was born in 1971 and grew up on the South Hill. I attended Cataldo, Jefferson Elementary, Sacagawea, and graduated from Lewis and Clark High School. After Lewis and Clark, I graduated with my bachelor's degree in political science from Gonzaga University. The day after graduation, I made a concerted decision that I wanted to go see what life was like out in the world and in our country. During that time, I had the opportunity to work for the Oakland Raiders football organization, the University of Wisconsin, and I got to spend 3 months in Sydney, Australia, working for the Summer Olympics. But the best part of that time that I spent away from Spokane was meeting my lovely wife, Ann. We moved back to Spokane about 10 years ago, and I was hired to be the regional manager for Tickets West, a locally owned company, and the largest entertainment company in our region. In 2007, I was given the opportunity to start Communities and Schools of Spokane County, a local nonprofit that in less than 4 years has grown to serve thousands of children each year. I am running for City Council President because it's an important position that requires the skills that I think I have to do the job. This is the city that I think of when I think of home. But our city needs an infusion of new, young leaders. Leaders who can bring fresh, new perspectives as policies are set for a vibrant, new generation. I believe that I will bring the spirit of that new generation to the office of the City Council President, understanding that it takes a spirit of cooperation and compromise to make good things happen. Ann is smiling at me right now. That is what we've got to do. And that developing a shared vision for the future of our city is the most important thing of all. I have successful experience in both the for-profit and the nonprofit sector that I think will meet our critical issues of our city head on. The operation of city government is, after all, applying hard business practices, providing public services for all of its citizens, especially those citizens that need them the most. Hard work is never easy. My parents always taught me that if you set a goal, though, and worked hard, you could accomplish anything. In high school, my debate partner, Mason, and I, at LC had never had a team that had gone to the national debate tournament. We set a goal at the start of our senior year. We put our noses to the grindstone, and by the end of the year, we were at that national debate tournament. I have taken those same principles and applied those to every job I have ever held. I will take those principles to the campaign trail, and if elected, I will work hard for the city of Spokane. That's why I'm running and asking for your support. Earlier, I mentioned that I believe there is, or at least there should be, a major overriding concern facing our city today through these perilous economic times that we're in. And it isn't about balancing the budget. The city has to do that by law. It's how we balance the budget that matters most. We seem to be spending most of our time talking about cutting this and cutting that, We talk about cutting police officers and firefighters when public safety is a paramount concern to the citizens of our community. We talk about cutting, excuse me, we talk about cutting the street departments when our streets are filled with potholes. We talk about cutting those services that make our city a vibrant, alive city, cutting our parks, cutting the libraries, cutting our youth department, and cutting the arts. So what is that overriding concern that I'm talking about? It's taking care of these services by generating revenue, so we don't have to cut police, fire, streets, and parks. And I'm not talking about raising any new taxes. Imagine embarking on a new citywide crusade to open the floodgates for economic development and new family wage jobs. That's the real answer to paying for the necessary services and those things that will make our already great city even better. Jobs, jobs, and more jobs. We've done it before in Spokane. The Expo 74 World's Fair in the 1970s generated thousands of jobs and brought new vitality and a new spirit to our city. The 1990s downtown revitalization that took place with the resurgence of the Davenport Hotel, new retail spaces, new stores, brought a new downtown spirit to our Spokane. And Jack, thank you for your position in leadership in creating those. Now it is time for a new generation to step forward with a new crusade for jobs and economic growth. There's an old story about shared vision. Everyone has their own individual visions, but they often differ with others. But when the people of a city come together with a shared vision, amazingly good things can happen. I am offering to lead a crusade for new jobs and economic growth in our city. I offer to join with each of you, with the members of the City Council, the mayor and staff, the business community, the youth of our community, the nonprofits, the labor organizations for a new crusade for jobs and economic growth in our community, where we can all create that shared vision and move towards that goal together. I ask for your help in the coming campaign so we can bring this quest to the people. We will need volunteers of all kinds, people to knock on doors, people to hold house parties, people to talk to their friends, people to put yard signs up in their yards and their neighbors' yards, and of course, a little help with campaign finance. Again, Ann and I thank you for coming this evening, and I ask for your support this coming summer and fall. Thank you.